So, I want to dig into a topic that I spoke about on social media this week, which is how to honor your younger self. So, if you missed those posts, I was mainly talking about the ways in which I choose to honor my younger self whilst I'm in my 40s now. And I loved hearing all of your feedback. So many of you shared different examples as to how you choose to do that now as well. So it was fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. But also, a few of you actually asked why it's so important to be able to do this. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to jump on here very quickly and just share a little bit of additional context. So, in terms of my own experience, I'm going to share my own experience. I'm going to come on to that in a second. But I work with a lot of individuals where I also see this too. And this disconnect to your younger self, it can show up and it can manifest in a number of different ways. So it can show up initially as dissatisfaction and dissatisfaction with life in general. And you often can't pinpoint the why. And it's usually because that disconnect to your younger self has actually meant that you have lost a connection with something specifically along the way. So it could be something that you really enjoyed. It could be your passions. It could be the way in which you used to have fun as a young child. It could be the fact that you have lost your way into, oh, there's a call come up. You can tell this is real. It could be the fact that you have lost track of why you feel motivated to do things in life. You might have lost a sense of creativity. Maybe you've been building a business. Maybe you've built a very successful business and you feel that you're just not being your creative self anymore. Something feels like it is missing. Now, this could be for a number of different reasons. So it could well be that you had a lot of trauma in your childhood. And so you've actually learned along the way to suppress memories of your younger years. It could be as simple as you used to love dancing and singing in class, but you used to choose to do it in science and you used to choose to do it in English. And so, of course, naturally, your teacher was always telling you to stop doing that, listen, pay attention. And somewhere along the way, you built that reframe in your head that actually you shouldn't be doing something so creative. You should be paying attention to something that's more serious. And maybe that redirected your course in life as well. If I think about my own personal circumstances here, so there were a number of things when I was younger. So I was that kid, by the way, that would dance and would be acting out and kind of like trying to do like different plays and all sorts of things, singing in class. And I was always getting told off for doing things like that. But I also had some other underpinning situations as well. So my mum was often very unwell. And from a really young age as well. So I learned very much to be the adult at a very young age. And that was a theme that would continue to play out through my childhood as well, because I was badly bullied a number of times throughout my childhood as well. And unfortunately, my mum passed away very suddenly when I was 15 years old. So, naturally, as a result of all of this, not only was I being asked to suppress certain creative elements of my personality, but actually, there were a number of different circumstances that meant I was choosing to suppress my own memories because naturally, I went into adulthood and I wanted to crack on in life. And I wanted to pretend that this wasn't necessarily my childhood, or not even consciously pretend, but it was something that I just wanted to bury and not actually accept. And so later, naturally, based on everything that I have said to you, I had a lot of things to work through when I hit my 30s, and I realized that this was a pivotal point in my life, and it was the beginning of my self discovery journey and everything that has led me on to my identity work today. But imagine this, if I had gone from this person who had suppressed my entire childhood and then gone to working through all of these really challenging, big, and some negative parts of my childhood, suddenly my memories would have only been filled with that negativity. So in actual fact, me being able to honor my childhood personally enables me to remember the good things about my childhood as well, so that I naturally start to introduce that balanced memory of my childhood, because otherwise I would just literally be remembering all of the negative and the challenging times as well. So that's one really important thing for me personally. What I see a lot with other individuals as well is, like I say, it's the creativity and it's the passion that we seem to lose in ourselves. And this happens as well. We take on lots of different identities as we grow older. We take on different roles and responsibilities, whether it's a job, whether it's a business that we set up, whether it's becoming a parent. And somewhere along the way, we lose the ability to be able to let go and have fun. And the longer that goes on for, we lose the ability to be able to connect with what it actually means to be able to do that and what are the important things for us to be able to do. So I just wanted to touch this on the surface as to why that is such an important thing to be able to do. And it's one of my practices, one of my many practices that I work through with my clients. So if you're interested to know a little bit more, then you can always reach out to me, talk to me about my programs, or simply if you want to hear more advice and tips that I share, if you want to tune in, then always just hit subscribe and continue to stay tuned.